going to go over how to find the domain in range when you're given some type of function or relation. The domain will always be all the possible x values, only the things that x can be. The range is going to be all possible y values, all the y values that the graph, the table, the mapping can have. Remember, when you're doing these type of problems, do not list numbers more than once. That means if a point has an x coordinate that appears more than once, just write it down once. You don't have to list it more than once. I'm going to give you an example of what we're talking about. We're going to find the domain and the range of these points right here. So remember, the first number will always be your domain, because this is your x values. Your range will always be that second number that they give you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all my x values and I'm going to list my x values. So I'll look at this first point. This first point, my x value is 1. Next one is 2. Next one is -3. And the next one is -4. Those are the values that x can be. Therefore, that is my domain for this set of points right here. We're going to find the range for these points. Remember, the first number is the x, the second number is my y. These numbers here, the second ones, those are my ranges. So I'm going to look right here, I've got a 0. I don't have to write this 0 twice. I've already got it written down, so I only have to write it down once. -3. I've got another -3, but remember, I only have to write it down once. Those are the numbers that my y can be. Those are my range. They can give it to you as a set of points. They can also give it to you in a graph. So we're going to figure out what the domain and the range is for this relationship. So remember, the domain is the x. This is my x-axis. I need to find all the values that x can be. So what I do is I look at this point right here. At this point, my x is a -4. So I put a -4 right there, comma. I've used that point. I go to the next point. What can my x be at this point right here? -1, comma. What can my x be for this one right here? 3, comma. What can my x be for this point right here? Looks like it can be 4. And what can my x value be for this point right here? 5. Make sure I put a comma in between those. So when it's asking for the domain, it wants the x values, all the values x can be. And this is all the values x can be. Let's find out what the range is. I look at this point right here. This is my y. Y goes with range. So look at this point right here. Looks like -5 can be a y value. -5 can be my range. Look up and down for this point. It matches up with -1. For this point right here, remember, I'm going to look at my y values. It's -2. For this point right here, the y value for this one is 3. And now I need to check out this point. Again, the y value is -5. I only have to write it down once. Remember, don't write down numbers for these more than once. Domain, all the values that x can be. Range is all the values, all the numbers y can be.